The best piece of advice I have for someone trying to succeed in the film industry or any creative space is if you're doing what everyone else is doing, you're doing it wrong.
One of the best to ever do it.
What is freedom? I think I stole this from Bob Dylan, but maybe I stole this from Woody Guthrie. Freedom for me is waking up in the morning and going to sleep at night, and in between doing exactly what I want to do. What's the secret to happiness? The secret to happiness is finding something you love and then doing that for the rest of your life.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Site Review Tuesday. I'm Robert with Zenfolio Customer Success, and I want to say thank you for joining me. Now, here in a minute, we're going to get to reviewing one of your websites, and I do want to point out that while this has been pre-recorded, I'm hanging out in the chat, interacting with you guys live and answering your questions. Now, if you're interested in having your website reviewed, there's a link in the description below this video where you can submit your site. And in addition to getting a site review, I also offer a one-on-one session to each photographer who has had a site review done to help them answer any questions or assist in making any changes that they may want to make. Now, don't forget, we also live stream every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, so I hope to see you there. Let's get into the site review. All right, hey everybody, and welcome to Site Review Tuesday. Today we're going to be reviewing selmophotos.com. So if I just drop the browser down here really quick, you guys can see the URL that I'm on. It also should be in the video description below this video. But we're going to start here with the review on the homepage. So while we have this browser pulled down, I do want to show you up here, you're still using the default favicon right here. So it's the Zenfolio favicon. This could definitely be something that's customized. It's not a huge deal, but it's something that can be changed up here. That's under site settings, logos, and icons, and it's either called the web browser icon or the favicon. I can't remember which term we use, but you can definitely customize that. You are using a custom URL, which is good. So let's go ahead and just bring this back up here, and we'll start right here. So one of the things that's a little confusing to me is that we have Selmo photos right here, and the web address that it's showing here is selmomedia.com, which is entirely different from the one that I'm on. I also noticed that when you submitted your site review that you submitted selmophotos.net, and when I tried to go to that .net, it gave me some weird security things. So luckily I tried .com and that worked just fine. But there's also a different URL showing here as well. If you have different domain names bought for different sites, that's fine. You probably want to leave this to say photos.com instead of media.com. If this is going to be your photography site, you want to kind of have this match up. If you have one website and you just bought a bunch of different domain names, what I would do is I would pick one to be your primary domain name and then just have the rest set up to redirect to that. So that if somebody enters something accidentally the wrong way, it still takes them to the correct spot. But you want to think about branding and have a consistent domain be your primary one, not have a bunch of different ones. All right, let's go ahead and talk about your site menu right here. So the first thing I notice is we have my photographs here, and if I hover over that, this looks like it's an old default menu item that was set up when you create the account. It has never been changed. So we have all my photos featured and recently added. All photographs is something that I would never, ever, ever have showing on my website, because in your Zenfolio account, you're going to want to have a couple of different sections, most likely. In most cases, you're going to want to have a section for your clients, which, you know, depending on how you have this set up with your clients, you might want to show that on the website. You might not. Personally, I don't show my clients' galleries on my website. My homepage and my website is all about acquisition and getting new clients. And so I want to make sure that I only show content that's relevant to them and make that accessible through the homepage only and not have client galleries. But the access to all photographs is going to your all photographs group. Now you have visitor sign in turned on here, so I can actually get in here, but I have to do a visitor sign in. So we'll just do Robert, and I'm just going to say Zen visitor at gmail.com, and then I'm not going to put a phone number. We're going to hit continue and just see where this goes. So like I said, this goes to your all photographs group, so I can see pretty much anything that you don't have password protected. Like here's password protection, but these are all of the galleries that are in your Zenfolio account. And so one of the things to think about here is that if I'm a visitor, I'm now getting into all photographs group, I'm really confused at where I'm supposed to be going, what I'm supposed to be looking at. Like, I don't see a really clear, definite portfolio. So as a visitor to this site who's interested in seeing if you are a photographer that I'm interested in hiring, if your style matches my style, if you do the type of photography that I'm interested in, going to all photographs and then kind of having this view of everything doesn't really give me a clear path of like, okay, I'm interested in this type of photography. Where should I go? Instead, landing on this, I am a little confused because I'm asking myself, okay, am I supposed to be here? Am I supposed to be able to see all this stuff? If I hire this photographer, is my gallery going to be in here where people can just get in and see it? And then also as well, I'm like, okay, well, where do I go to see the examples of their work for weddings? I see what looks like client galleries. Where do I go to see their example wedding work? Or where do I go to see their example portrait work? There's not a clear path for me as a visitor to get to where I want to go. Now, if we go back up here to my photographs again, there's a featured section. And again, this is blank, right? So there's nothing here. This is a menu item. So as a visitor, I'm probably gone at this point, to be quite honest, because I haven't been able to find what I'm looking for. I've now gone to a site menu that's blank. Really what this tells me is that this website has not been kept up to date, that somebody's not checking in and making sure that these links make sense. They're not making sure that this is set up to be easily navigated. So as a visitor, to be quite honest, I'm probably gone at this point because this link is not working. Let's go ahead and check out recently added. All right, and then we have here recently added. Again, bunch of stuff that I can't access except for maybe this one or this one. And so I'm really left like, how do I find the stuff that I'm supposed to be looking at and that I want to look at? So I would definitely remove this and I would build a portfolio on Zenfolio and have it set up here under this site menu so that as a visitor, I could go to this. Ideally, this should be a portfolio menu with a drop down that's like wedding portfolio. And that wedding portfolio goes to one gallery that has your absolute best 10 to 15, maybe 10 to 20 wedding images, not a bunch of client galleries, but your absolute best 10 to 20 wedding images in one gallery. You want to make it easy for me to find the information that I'm looking for. All right, let's check out your guest book here. Now, guys, if you've been watching the site reviews, you know that a lot of times I suggest not having guest books. In fact, I suggest turning this off. And this is a prime example why, because I want to show you what these guest book entries are. Are you unable to buy Bitcoin in whatever that says here? Spam. Despite the website features and applications, blockchain, that's spam. Are you facing errors while trading on your Gemini account? That's spam. Spam, spam. So let's just see how long it takes us to get to an actual real entry. So right now we're down to 20 and you can see all of these are spam. They're talking about apps, they're talking about Bitcoins, they're full of a bunch of links. Now, if you wanted to use your guest book, you can definitely use it. And there's an option to make public post be required for you to approve. And so if the guest book is something that you want to use, I would definitely recommend making sure that you have that option checked. But again, as a visitor to this site, as somebody who's potentially interested in hiring you as a photographer, I haven't been able to find a good clear portfolio. There's been a couple of broken links, or at least one broken link, and now I'm seeing a guest book that's so far full of a bunch of spammy stuff. So lots of red flags as a visitor to this site that I'm seeing. So next 20 entries, let's just see. Let's go to the next 20 entries. So again, same thing right here, blockchain, coin, bunch of links. Let's see if we can find an actual true guestbook entry from somebody. Thank you so much for sharing this. That's a bunch of links, Let's see here. Help and printer issues. Protection. I don't know what that is because that's not in English. Let's keep going. I wonder if there, so far all I'm seeing are a bunch of spam entries. Okay. No, I thought maybe we were going to get lucky and have well, a good entry right here, but then there's a URL under here which I'm not going to go to. I'm pretty sure that's probably a spam. And again, right? So look, as a wedding photographer, do you really want this kind of spam showing up on your site, right? Because now this is on your site. This could affect your SEO. This could be driving people to your site that are looking for this stuff. Also too, as a visitor to your site, and I'm looking through your guest book, I'm seeing a bunch of spam. So I would definitely consider removing that. I'm going to give up on trying to find an actual true entry from a person that's not spam, because we just went through like 80 entries and they were all spam. So I'm going to say that that's probably all that we're going to find for quite a while if we keep going through that. So we'll just move on. So let's go back to the homepage. And let's talk a little bit about this, just the homepage here. So you have some beautiful photos here on the homepage, right? They're absolutely gorgeous. You've got a really cool, this is pretty cool. One of the things you want to watch for on your homepage photos is, and so again, right here, you have a different URL than what we're seeing here. If you have different businesses, link to them up here. Don't put them on your homepage image. Link to them up here. Make it an actual clickable link that I can get to. That's good for your SEO. But on this homepage for your photos, let's make it consistent, right? Let's make sure that if you have logos or watermarks on your images, that they're the same, they're in the same spot. And let's make sure that we are on this homepage photo, or these homepage photos, this should be your best 10 images for your primary focus of whatever it is. Like, it looks like primarily you're focusing on weddings. So this should be your best 10 to 15 wedding images, hands down, on here. Like, if you only could show somebody 10 to 15 photos to get them to hire you as a photographer, that should be the photos that you're showing on here. You have some really good ones. There was a couple of ones that kind of showed the, like for instance, this one right here, this is not necessarily an image that I would have showing on my homepage. It's very different from the other ones. But you also had like some advertisement looking photos, like for your DJ business and all that stuff. Definitely fine to advertise your DJ business on this site. I would just not do it on the photos. I would do it up here somewhere, like, check out my DJ business or something like that, because that's going to be good for your SEO as well. Now, one of the things that you've done really good here is you do have some information here, including your location information right here. And over here, your contact information is here, and your Facebook and all that stuff. So great job having that information on the front page. Again, down here, we're getting access to all photographs. And this is something that you can turn off, is this all photographs access. And I definitely 100% never, ever recommend showing all photographs from your website ever. You should have your account sectioned off with stuff that you want to be publicly accessible, stuff that is for your specific clients, and then stuff that's just for your use, whether it's like logos or different things like that. So that's the 3 sections that I recommend creating inside your Zenfolio account using groups and access control settings. All right, let's keep scrolling down here. So again, there is 3 places to get to your guest book. So I can get to your guest book super easy. I can find it. I can't find a portfolio. There's guest book here with 51 entries. There is guest book right here with 51 entries. Add a guest book. There is a guest book up here. So really think about, you've got 3 ways that I can get to a guest book that's full of spam. definitely something that you're probably going to want to remove and turn off, and then consider just updating that portfolio. All right. Also, too, I would definitely consider checking out some of Zenfolio's presets. This looks like it was one of our early versions of the website, and we've definitely made some updates to the presets that are available. And so I would definitely recommend just considering going in there and maybe updating the overall visual appearance of your site using one of our new presets. It's definitely going to give it a quick facelift that will help make it look a little bit nicer. All right, let's check out your blog. All right, so let's see. We are at Town blog February 13th, 2019, February 7th, February 6th. So we have April 10th, 2015, and then you dropped off for a couple of years, and then we went really hot and heavy. So 2 on the 6th, 1 on the 7th, 13th. So 1, 2, 3, 4 blog posts all within the month of February, and then dropping back off again. Blogs are really helpful, guys. If you can blog at least at a bare minimum once a month, they really say for optimal performance for your blog, it should be 3 times a week. But if you cannot dedicate 1 day a month, or if you cannot come up with 1 blog post a month, I would probably just remove your blog post, because again, as a visitor to this site, going and looking at your blog, how often it's updated, and the most recent update tells me how much you pay attention to your site, how active you are here, right? So if I'm seeing a lot of years between blog posts, and then I see a blog post and then several months, that tells me a lot about your consistency. Whether it's you're not consistent on your blog because you just got too busy, you just don't want to present something that looks inconsistent. So if you cannot do a blog post once a month, I would definitely consider removing it. But that's just my opinion. All right, let's keep moving on here. Let's go to your About page here. So we're going to go up and go to About. And so we've got 1 photo. And then we have your international wedding, commercial, fashion, and portrait photography. I mean, this is the bare minimum that I would consider having on an About page. I would love to know more about you. Why did you get into photography? Why do you love photography? What is unique about you? I'm glad that you have an image of yourself up here, because so many people don't have that. But definitely consider putting more in here. Like, as a visitor, after I've gone through and decided, hey, this is somebody that I could potentially be interested in hiring, the next thing that I want to know is, am I going to like this person? Are we going to get along? What do they love about photography? Why are they passionate about it? Is this just a job to them? Is this just a paycheck? Is it something that they love? Why did they get into it? Right? Because you guys have to realize that the market is so saturated right now there's lots of photographers. And so you really have to project what makes you unique. No longer is it just your skill level. No longer is it just your style, but now it's also, you got to think about your personality and what you're projecting. The experience that you're going to provide your clients and who you are is almost just as important as the quality of the product that you're going to provide as well. And so that's something that you need to project here on your About page. I say this every site review, but a good About video can't be beat. If you can make a quick video, it doesn't have to be long, it can be 2 or 3 minutes. If you can make a video that will just explain who you are, why you love photography, and what is unique about working with you, and do something that will let me connect with you, that's going to make the chances of me being interested to reach out and actually hire you even higher, because now I feel like we have a connection. Now I feel like I know you, and that's something that's really important. So something to think about here. All right. So let's go check out your contact page really quick. And again, another thing I want to point out too is, now that we have switched over to your other pages, this up here has changed. You have a different logo up here, different colors. You want to really think about branding consistency, right? That is the colors that you use that represent your brand, the fonts that you use, the URL that you use, the way you present yourself and you refer to yourself. All of that comes into branding consistency. You want to create something that's recognizable and memorable. You want this font to represent you. So if you using that one that's on the homepage here, come up with a logo that fits on the header that keeps that same font. And if you're going to go with the black and white as your branding color, or if you want to incorporate that blue, you could incorporate that blue here, but you just want to establish branding consistency so that whenever something out there that belongs to you is out there and it has your branding on it, people start recognizing it because of the colors, the fonts, and all of that stuff. You need to think about all of that as a whole. But let's check out your contact page really quick. So this is the built-in contact page, which is perfectly fine to use. It gets the job done. It lets people contact you. It lets them send you an email. It gives them your phone number. It has your social media and all that stuff here. So that's perfectly fine. Overall, for me, I definitely think you need to spend some time on your website and give it an overhaul. I would definitely start out like primarily removing this guest book. For sure, there's not really a reason to be there, and it's full of a lot of spam that you probably don't want there. And then that's a really easy fix. But then after that, the next area that I would focus on is building a portfolio and updating this, because having this go to all photos, a broken link, and then the recently added where I can't really access anything is not ideal. So turn this into a portfolio drop down and give me a portfolio for each genre of photography you do. And in there, it needs to be your 10 to 20 best images that represent that genre. So ideally, this should say portfolio, weddings, portraits, fashion, or whatever you shoot. And then those go to galleries where I see your best of your best images in those specific genres. That is what I would suggest here. Blog. Can you commit to doing a blog once a month? If not, let's go ahead and remove this, and then let's add some extra information to that about page, and just to explain a little bit more about who you are, why you love what you do, why you love what you do, why you have a passion for photography. Just give a little bit more information so a visitor can connect with you. And then primarily another thing too is getting rid of these all photograph access from your homepage. So those are the things that I'd focus on. I definitely want to say thank you so much for submitting your site for review. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully I gave you some good tips. Just some things that you need to work on here to make this website a little bit easier to navigate and to get your visitors right to the places that they need to go so that they can make the decision to hire you. So hopefully this was helpful. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today on the site review. Hope you guys have a great day. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching that site review. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you click that subscribe button and hit the little bell icon so you get notified when we post videos and when we go live. Now, if you're interested in having your site reviewed, there's a link in the description below this video where you can submit your website for that. And in addition to getting a site review, you're also going to get a link where you can schedule a session with me. We're going to go over your website, go over the review. I'll answer any questions that you have and help you make any changes that you're interested in making. So the link to sign up for that is in the description below this video. Now, don't forget Zenfolio Live coming up this Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you guys there. Until then, I hope you have a great week.